There you go. Good morning. I call this meeting of the House Committee on Judiciary to order. It's Monday, February 6, 2023. Welcome. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. We have two public hearings scheduled for today, a public hearing on 2304 and a public hearing on, is that right? 2572. We are going to start with a public hearing on House Bill 2304. I'll bring that in, and we'll start with Representative Lewis.
Do you want me to summarize it?
Come on up. And
Do you want me to summarize it?
yes, Lucy, if you could summarize this bill, that'd be great while our panel is taking their seats.
Sure. House Bill 2304 directs the Department of Public Safety Standards and Training to establish a grant program to provide funds for the care of retired law enforcement dogs. It authorizes grant recipients to reimburse caretakers of law enforcement dogs for daily and emergency care.
Representative Lewis, good morning.
Good morning, Chair Croft, Vice Chairs Wallen and Anderson, and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Rick Lewis. I'm State Representative for House District 18. It's my pleasure to bring to the committee House Bill 2304 this morning, also known as the Canine CARES Act. This bill is about providing ongoing support for police canines that have more than 3 years of service at the time of their retirement or were injured in the line of duty and were subsequently medically retired. The intent of the bill is to provide some level of ongoing support for those dogs that are retired from active police service. In many cases, medical bills are ongoing as a result of injuries that they sustained at the time that they were in police service. And they become the responsibility of the new owner at the time that the dog is retired and is no longer the responsibility of the law enforcement agency. This bill would provide some small level of ongoing support to help pay for those expenses, oftentimes medical expenses related to an injury. Mr. Darren Campbell is with me here today. He brought the concern about this bill to my attention, and he'll explain the issue in further detail and answer any questions that the committee may have. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative Lewis. Mr. Campbell, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Croft, members of the committee. My name is Darren Campbell. I'm Executive Director of Working Dogs Oregon. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We started from personal experiences surrounding my wife's service dog and seeing the need for advocacy and education around service dogs to the public and to the business community. It did not take long for us to decide to advocate for all working dogs, and we firmly believe that dogs make lives better for humans through the work they do. In 2018, we decided to scholarship 2 canines to Oregon police agencies who otherwise may not have had the resources to get them. Canine Bali went to the Pendleton Police Department, Canine Gus to the Central Point Police Department. Since then, we have had a hand in bringing 2 additional patrol dogs to Oregon policing. Canine Hank we purchased from a California agency and donated him to Portland Police, who certified last year. Also, Canine Bruno, who came from a bad situation in California. He was saved by the South Coast Humane Society in Brookings, Oregon. They called us and we placed him with the Lane County Sheriff's Office. He just certified about 3 weeks ago. Working with police canines for the last several years has created new missions for us. We travel the state hosting canine first aid courses free of charge to any police canine handler. We have trained over 100 handlers in what to do to save their dogs' lives in an emergency. We've provided over 70 first aid kits to Oregon police handlers. And lastly, we donate a victim support or wellness dog to any police agency that requests one. Currently, we have 5 dogs working with victims. This last November, we donated Eastern Oregon's first victims advocate dog to the Union County District Attorney's Office. We are very invested in the health, well-being, and advancement of the Oregon police canine community, from first training session through retirement, which brings me to House Bill 2304. The Oregon Canine CARES Act. This bill will create a fund to offset the burden caretakers of retired canines gladly accept. Police dogs who track people, detect drugs and explosives are high-drive dogs, and it takes special people to be their handlers. Almost all continue to care for these dogs in retirement. Once assigned a dog, these teams spend nearly every minute of every day together. The handler grows to depend on their canine partner almost more than the dog depends on them. In some cases, the dog in the back of the car is the only backup an officer has close by. You can imagine the bond that is formed in this partnership. In most cases, when a dog retires, the agency will sell them to the handler for a tiny amount, usually $1. At that point, the dog becomes the full responsibility of the handler. The costs of this responsibility can be extreme. House Bill 2304 would call for a $1,000 payment to caretakers with qualified dogs. This amount in no way covers all the costs an older dog would incur in a year, but would offset some burden. There are also several foundations around the state that specifically target retirement costs for specific agencies. We do not want to take their place to add, but we want to add to what they're doing. Another important aspect of this bill is a reimbursement is up to $5,000 for emergency veterinary care. We want to be able to remove financial barriers and provide proper care to these dogs who give so much to our state. A veterinary bill of significant cost can be difficult to recover from, and we felt this amount was reasonable. The bill requires consultation with a member of the veterinary industry on applications for funding to ensure the care is reasonable and aligns with care that can be expected. A qualified canine, as described in this bill, is one who was certified in accordance with Oregon law and worked at least 3 years unless injured while performing its duties, causing early retirement. These stipulations need to be verified by the agency the dog worked for. One change that I'd like to see in this bill is line 7, subsection 1, subsection 2, to read that the nonprofit organization awarded this grant be one that works and advocates with working dogs on a state level, and then delete line 11, which is covered with this change. The purpose for this is the way it's written now. It's very broad, and I don't know that the Salvation Army would be the best nonprofit to perform this. Working Dogs Oregon would apply to receive this grant from DPSST, and we are prepared to administer this program at no cost to ensure that we can get the most support to the caretakers who need it. We have requested a survey from the Oregon Association of Chiefs of Police and the Oregon State Sheriff's Association, and based on those survey results, we believe there are between 100 and 120 retired police canines who would qualify for this support. I would urge the committee passage of this bill and be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Members, any questions for Representative Lewis or Mr. Campbell? Great. Thank you both. And when you said handler, I have one question. When you said handler, in my head I was thinking the officers had been working with that dog, or most likely to be the retirement home for that dog.
As a matter of fact, I've